Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you are doing great. So from today's video onwards, we are going to start with a new topic, namely stack and queue. So the first question in this particular topic is parenthesis checker. The question states that given an expression string x, examine whether the pairs and the orders of opening and closing flower bracket, common bracket, and square brackets are correct in the expression. For example, the function should return true for this particular expression, and false for this expression. Because the corresponding pairs of parentheses are matching in this particular case, whereas they are not matching in this case. Let's have a look at the examples. In case of example 1, we have opening flower bracket, common bracket, and square bracket, and correspondingly we have closing square bracket, common bracket, and flower bracket. So this form a pair, that is matching pair, therefore the output here is true. In case of example 2 as well, we just have a opening and closing pair of common brackets, therefore the output here is true as well. In case of example 3, we have an opening common bracket, opening square bracket, and a closing square bracket. Therefore, the opening and closing square bracket form a matching pair, whereas we don't have any closing common bracket. Therefore, the output here is false. So now let's have a look at the approach to solve this particular problem. The intuition behind solving this problem is that we make use of a stack, and while accessing the characters of the string, when we encounter a opening bracket of any type, we push it into the stack. And if we encounter a closing bracket, we try to match it with the top of the stack. In case if the element matches with the top of the stack, that is if it forms a pair, then we pop out the top of the stack. And at last, if the stack is empty, then the string is valid or the expression is valid, else it is invalid. The right side of the screen shows the algorithm where we have a function called isPair, whose argument is the string x. The length of the string is 6, and we have a stack s. So initially we traverse the string, or we access the characters of the string from first to last, that is from I is equal to 0 to length. And at each traversal, we check whether if that particular element is any type of opening bracket. So first we have encountered a opening flower bracket. So we push it into the stack and increment I. Next we have encountered a opening common bracket. So again we push it to the stack. And then we have a opening square bracket. So we push it to the stack. Now I points to the 4 character, which is the closing square bracket. So this particular condition is false. We move to a else part. We check whether if the string or sorry the stack is empty, which is also false. So here we check whether if top of stack is not equal to opening common bracket, which is true. But x of I is not equal to closing common bracket. X of I is equal to closing square bracket. So this condition is false, as well as this is also false. This condition is true for x of I is equal to closing square bracket, but it is false for the case that s of top is not equal to opening square bracket. That is, this form a pair. So finally, we pop that particular element from the stack and increment I. Now I points to the closing common bracket where if condition fails, so we move on to a else part where we check whether if stack is empty, which is false. So in this case, the second part is true, that is x of I is equal to closing common bracket, but s of stop is equal to opening common bracket, but this condition is false. Therefore, we finally pop that particular element from the stack. That is, we pop opening common bracket and increment I. Now I points to the last element or last last character of the string. So again, we check whether it is opening bracket, which is false. We are in a else part where we check whether if stack is empty, which is also false. So this condition is false. This condition is partially true. That is x of I is equal to opening flower bracket, but s of top is also, x of I is equal to closing flower bracket, but stack of top is equal to opening flower bracket. That's why this overall condition is false. So again, we move to our else part, even this condition is false. And finally, we pop the element from the stack, which is opening flower bracket and increment I. Now the value of I exceeds the length of the string. So we exit a for loop and check whether if the stack is empty, which is true. Therefore, we return true. Now let's have a look at the actual code. The driver code is already given and we just need to complete the function isPair whose argument is the string s. So as we have seen in the explanation part, we have created a stack of type character as well as we have declared a variable called length, which is the length of the string. Then we have a for loop from I is equal to 0 to length, which is used to iterate through the characters of the string. And at each iteration, we check whether if that particular character is opening bracket of any type, let it be normal opening bracket, flower bracket, or square bracket, then we push it into the stack. Else we have a series of if else conditions where we first check whether if the stack is empty. If so, then we return false. Else we check whether if top of the stack is opening common bracket and x of I is equal to closing common bracket. If this is the case, then we return false. Else we check whether if top of the stack is not equal to opening flower bracket and x of I is equal to closing flower bracket. Else we also check whether if top of the stack is not equal to opening square bracket and x of I is equal to closing square bracket. So in these three conditions, we check whether if top of the stack does not matches with the particular element which we are iterating currently. So in all these cases, we return false. Else there is a case where top of the stack matches with that particular character. In that case, we pop the topmost element of the stack. And finally, after the for loop, we check whether if the stack is empty. If so, then we return true, else we return false. So we can compile our code now. Since the compilation is successful, we can submit. And our code got submitted successfully. So if you found the video helpful, do hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such upcoming videos on must do coding questions for interview preparations. Thank you.